Let's see if we have some strong takes in Major League Baseball. We got Tigers, Athletics, Red Sox, Dodgers. Let's start with this Tigers team. You got Mize for the Tigers, Springs for the no Mize.
Mize got scratched a few minutes ago.
Oh, okay. Well, tell us who is Springs still there with his confident 6.23 ERA this year? It's a confident 6.23 ERA for him this year. So who's pitching for the Tigers?
So, again, looking at the Odds Logic live odds screen right now, I'm seeing Detroit with an undecided starting pitcher sitting in the minus 140 range. Total in this game, 11, juice to the under. It's another warm night in Sacramento. Although, if you've been playing overs in Sacramento of late, you haven't done real well. The Athletics, they were moneymakers for me early, not lately. In spring, the ball was carrying in Sacramento, not so much in the summer. 5-0 to the under the last 5 home games for the Athletics. And this is an Athletics team right now. They're riddled with key injuries, whether it's Shea Langoliers or Greg Rooker or Zach Geloff. Those are big bats for a team that, and of course, Nick Kurtz got hit by a pitch the other night. He's in a 1-for-34 slump. He did play yesterday. I would expect him to suit up here. But, many of the Athletics' big bats are not in good form. And this is a team that, lost 10 straight series now. They pushed the 11th, the 4-game set for the Angels, and they lost the 12th. Their last series win came versus Colorado on June 12th, 13th, and 14th. So it's been like 6 weeks, more than 6 weeks since this team actually won a series. You talk about Jeffrey Springs, and Springs now winless over his last 17 starts. I've watched a bunch of them. I like the way he competes. He's a tough hurler. He's just not. He's also a fly ball pitcher in a bad ballpark for fly ball pitchers. So, and of course, his last outing, just 1 1/3 innings, bombed by the Twins. I really can't back the Athletics right now. This is a team that's finding ways to lose. They just had a miserable series against the Red Sox where they had 1,000 chances and couldn't get anything done. The problem, of course, is that the Tigers are struggling every bit as much. They just lost 4 or 5 to Kansas City and Baltimore at home. They blew a 7-0 lead for Tariq Skubal in what could be his last start in Detroit. It's a really demoralizing stretch for Detroit. This was a time where they were looking to make a run to avoid being sellers this weekend, and now Casey Mize has been scratched, but I believe he was scratched because of I think he's going to be traded, potential trade deal. It's not like Detroit is a team that anyone's excited about backing right now either. So from a side standpoint, there's not a lot I'm going to do with this game. 2 teams I don't want. But from a total standpoint, even with the fact that I don't trust Springs, and even with the fact that the Tigers don't have a starting pitcher right now, these are not 2 lineups clicking, and this is not a ballpark where the ball's been carrying the way it was early in the season. Under 11 is the only way I can look for Detroit and Sacramento in this game on West Coast action on Friday night.
I may have cursed Skubal, by the way, Teddy. I went up to Detroit to meet with Johnny and Kelly and the rest of the production team, and we went. And it was Skubal bobblehead night. I was very excited. I got a Skubal bobblehead, and then immediately he's just in trade rumors. So I finally get something cool, like a Skubal bobblehead, and now he may not even be on the team here in a little bit. So, all right, Red Sox and Dodgers. Red Sox been probably the craziest, funnest story in MLB this year. Can they keep winning at this breakneck pace that they have over the last month or so? What do we make of Red Sox Dodgers?
So the one-word answer to that is no.
Yeah.
Let's look first at the Odds Logic live on screen. And guys, get your free trial. We keep adding new books. We keep adding more stuff. It really is. It's the best free live odds service out there at WagerTalk.com. But the best of the best is with the Odds Logic screen. If you're serious about betting, oddslogic.com/Teddy. Get a free 7-day trial. Try it for the preseason. Try it for MLB action. Again, oddslogic.com/Teddy. When we look at the number for this game, boy, we're looking at a relatively cheap price for LA, minus 125, minus 130. Has been bet up to minus 135 in a handful of spots here for the Dodgers. My clients and I cashed a 5% big ticket play with LA last night. It was this pretty easy. I mean, the bullpen made me sweat a little bit, but they led 2-0 in the first. They led 5-0 in the fourth, and kind of cruised thereafter. Today, it's a bullpen game for LA. So I thought they were way underpriced yesterday. And in many ways, I think they're underpriced today. And obviously the Dodgers may not have Ohtani. He sat yesterday, and we saw a 15, 20-cent line move in some places with Ohtani out. In my mind, that's a huge overreaction, even for an elite hitter. Their lineups can score runs in bunches when Ohtani sits. They scored 6 runs, still beat Seattle soundly. Again, that 5% big ticket cash. And part of my rationale for that bet was Dave Roberts' press conference that I watched the previous night, where he talked about the consistency of the team's effort, how the team's chemistry was coming together, the focus coming out of the All-Star break. The 2-time defending champs have the best record in baseball again this year, and it's not by accident. 6-2 their last 8 ball games. Now, Andy, you talked about how hot the Red Sox have been. They've been as hot as it is in Vegas right now. They're 25-5 their last 30 games. Huge profits if you rode this streak early and often. That said, after a team goes 25-5 over a 30-game span, they ain't doing it the next 30 games. We would expect much closer to 15-15 for the Red Sox over their next 30. And they've really been feasting on the weak of late. I just ripped the A's a minute ago. They beat the A's their last series. They had the Blue Jays before that. They had the Mets and the Angels, 2 last-place teams before the All-Star break. So, 4 of the last 6 series come against teams in last place, and the 5th came against a squad that's struggling in every way, even though they're not in last place. So the bullpen got used pretty good. Bullpen was great in Sacramento this week, but I think that bullpen's a little bit taxed now. If I'm playing, it's only the Dodgers, not the Red Sox. The Red Sox were a team absolutely to ride in July, and I know it's the last day of July. You still get away with it. I would not be surprised at all. Again, Boston, great run, but as you mentioned, Andy, these runs do not go on forever, and the Dodgers are the better of these 2 teams, even in a bullpen game. At least that's this bettor's opinion.
Yeah, baseball's so wild, man. You have a team that looks like the worst team in the league for like 2 weeks, and then they rip off 15 straight. Like, baseball is so weird, man. It's just such a strange sport.
But it speaks to my style of handicapping. All right. All I want to do is find teams that the full season stats say they should be here or here. Let me get in the camera. And in fact, they're playing here or they're playing up there. When you find teams playing at a different level than their full season stats indicate, that's where you make money. That's where the marketplace lags behind current realities. And that's what I look for in baseball. That's what I look for in basketball. That's what I look for in football. Football is a little bit more spot-based. But the bottom line is for the daily sports, your NBA, your MLB, when you find these teams whose stats and full season numbers say they should be here, and they're at a different level for a week, for 2 weeks, for a month, whether good or bad, that's where you make your money.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So you mentioned you're already ripping these videos for NFL futures. They're up for WagerTalk Insiders. Someone asked, why are they behind a paywall? They're not behind a paywall. You don't have to pay to see them. They get released early to the insiders, and then they will be released to the public. So how many teams have you done so far?
So I did a dozen of them. I'm not sure they're all posted. Wow. All the last couple of days. With the preparation for the win report, and obviously the NFL season win report comes out today, noon Pacific time. But with the preparation for that, I'll sit down and I'll do a whole bunch more videos again next week. But the NFL content, as soon as August comes, people are interested. Last year I did them all in July, and we didn't get the response. It was a little bit too early. So this year I waited a little bit longer. We'll go at the beginning of August, but I spend all summer working NFL. That's what I do. It's been my pattern for the last 25 years. Hasn't changed this year. This year I might have worked harder because last year I lost with my season win report. I was really, I was unhappy with the process. I was unhappy with the results. And when you do something successfully for 25 years, not like every year was a winning year. I had 3 or 4 previous losing seasons, so it's not the only losing season I've ever had. But I've never had back-to-back losing seasons. When I have a bad year with you tweak a little bit. You don't take the whole process and throw it out. You just tweak. But the bottom line is I spent the last 6 weeks working NFL. I've got notes on every team up the wazoo. So I'm putting videos together that you guys can watch. And the first of them, the first group will be released early for insiders, but they were released to everyone. I think now they'll be up by noon Pacific time today, right there with the win total report that's coming out.
Do you know when the opening line report starts?
So I didn't do one for this coming Monday because there's only one game. We'll start with week 1 of the preseason. So okay. It'll be The exact date on that would be what, the 10th?
Wild.
Monday, the 10th of August.
All
myself
right.
and Kelly will be doing opening line reports from then every Monday right through the Super Bowl, 8 a.m. Pacific time, bright and early, 11 a.m. Eastern time. So be sure to watch that live every week right here on WagerTalk TV.
All right. What do you have up plays wise at WagerTalk?
Well, the win report, man. I got a promo code, by the way, which we got to talk about. And the win report goes for $1.99. Again, the long-term track record has been pretty darn good. What do we got? 105 and 56 or 105 and 60, 106 and 65. It's 65% over a 25-year sample size. 77%, 17 and 5 with the big ticket reports. So this has been a very successful report for a long time. And it lost last year, and I'm pissed. Don't buy it. Do not buy my report. It's $1.99. You can get it right now. It'll be posted for everyone at noon today. But you can get my NFL full season for $5.99. That's going to get you every play from week 1 of the preseason through the Super Bowl. Prop report, every 5%. And there's no bait and switch. There's no nonsense we do with WagerTalk. You guys know. We don't BS anybody. We have the best customer service in the industry. So you can get the single report with the win totals for $1.99. You get my full season for $5.99. And you can take $50 off the full season. By the way, the win report comes with the full season. That'll get you everything to the Super Bowl. Take $50 off. Use promo code Teddy50 at checkout. Again, Teddy50 at checkout gets you $50 off. So you get the win report and my full season for $5.49. The win report's $1.99. So you're really getting the season for what, like $350? I think that's a good deal. I expect to make money. I'm focused, and I'm got a pretty good track record in this sport.